Can you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins? That's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. I'm excited to introduce my friend and partner, Stacie Peterson from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. How you doing today, Stacie?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Andre.
Well, so I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. Excuse me. To give you a little introduction, Stacie's she dedicates her time, energy, and resources to help agents grow their business through systems and leverage. She's been in real estate for over 20 years, sold over 2,000 homes in her career. She grew her real estate team from 0 to 300 sides, tripling your business while exiting production in 6 months. So that's something we got to talk about. On the back of a shifting market with only a city population of 150,000 people. So, and then later sold her team for a 7-figure valuation. Recently, she's grown an organization of over 600 agents within 2 years here at EXP. And I'm really looking forward to, just unpacking some of your background and what you've done to be so successful in your real estate business. So thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here and just have a great conversation.
Well, let's just jump right in and just tell us more about yourself and tell us your story, Stacie.
Yeah, so I kind of started real estate a little untraditionally. I came from a really small town of like 800 people, and all I wanted to do was be like the astronaut that had the one billboard that we had in town. Like someone painted him a billboard and said, we have an astronaut. And I thought, wow, like how do you get to be that person?
Yeah.
And so I didn't really think real estate because we didn't have realtors at all in our town, but my parents actually flipped houses kind of before that was a thing. And I used to drive around on my bike and take pictures with my mom's old camera of houses that I liked. And I had a bulletin board kind of set up. So little did I know I was probably priming myself for real estate.
Yeah.
But always loved just architecture and, houses. But I really liked people probably before I became a realtor than as a realtor, but just kind of always, wanted to be in a opportunity that had unlimited income potential. That was really sort of my MO. So fast forward, got my real estate license, was an individual agent, was on a team, a co-owner of a team where we really like shared services. We weren't like a traditional sense of the team.
Okay.
Had 2 babies, like 16 months apart, sold 42 homes in 6 months and realized, oh my gosh, like the wheels are falling off. I need a system. This isn't going to work, especially with 2 toddlers. And, my husband was great, but that was kind of the first time I realized, wow, you've got to figure out some systems or this business will just eat you alive. So fast forward, started a new team. And that's the team that we went from 0 to 300 sides that I eventually sold.
Wow. What year did you start that team?
That team we started in 2011, and then I sold it in 2016.
Okay. So in 5 years, you're able to grow that team and sell it for a 7-figure valuation. That's amazing. That doesn't happen too often nowadays.
No, it was the first time it had been done in my area as well. Like sometimes brokerages folded into another brokerage. I didn't own any brick and mortar. That included no brick and mortar. I was already out of transactions. So essentially what it was, systems. I could prove a 30% profit without me in production, and proven systems in order for us to grow, in transactions every single year and keep repeat and referral business without me in it. So
awesome.
That was essentially the saleable part of it. Cause like I said, no bricks and mortar, nothing like that.
Yeah. What are some of the systems that you put in place that helped you do that?
Yeah. So I think first of all, one thing that was really hard for me at first was tracking. It sounds simple, like, oh, track, how many calls you make, track your sales. And I just like fought it with tooth and nail. And once I started tracking my activities so I could ask my team to track their activities, it allowed me to see what was happening in my business. Otherwise, you're just guessing.
Yeah, right.
You think you're better than you are, or you're assuming maybe your team members aren't doing as much as maybe they are. So that kind of gave me a clear picture. So definitely some tracking systems. Also, that allowed me to hold them accountable. The system did the heavy lifting instead of me having to, I don't like any kind of confrontation. So I need something else to kind of hold people accountable and not me. And not that I didn't have the conversations, but it's pretty easy to see when it's spelled out.
Right.
Secondly, a system was, and it sounds simple, but that's how I keep things, is P&L. So I had a scorecard that some of the items from the P&L went on there. Some of the activities from those trackers that I talked about went on there. And all I needed to know is if I was on a beach for 2 months, is my business healthy? And that's what that scorecard allowed me to see. And then we needed some repeatable things for business. So like a database marketing program so we can attract more business to us, a conversion package, like how do you actually convert these leads into clients? A delivery service, like what's your contract to close? And does that really feel personal, or is it like just emails? And then ultimately systems to scale the business. Like how do you hire? How do you keep that pipeline full? How do you train people quickly? Those kinds of things, just like a normal business. So think of it as you created a business, just happens to be in real estate.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What are some of the specific systems, like names of systems that you use, if they're still relevant today? I know that was a few years ago and technology continues changing like crazy. Yeah. Are some of them still relevant today?
I think they're relevant in terms of the system works, but the software may have been upgraded. Right. So at first we used Top Producer, right? Okay. I didn't love it either. Nobody loves it, but it worked. But now CRMs are all integrated into lead gen systems, where before you had to have separate. So everybody likes to ask, what's the best CRM? And it is that generic answer that everybody gives. It's the one that you're going to use. Right. But basically, you need a system that allows you to tag your clients. So we always had 5 different types of tags. And the first one was agent and their name, because you'll have people leave your team, come and go, and they're going to take their SOI with them, but the team business stays with the team. So we had to know who was the person in charge of them. Where did that original source come from? So it was like SOI or open house. But if it was an open house, it would reference like open house, our listing. Was it an open house, the agent's listing, right. Okay. Things like that. Client dash closed and the year they closed. So like now when the market's not busy, you can go back through who closed a home 3 years ago, 5 years ago, who's maybe in their 40s. Their parents are probably looking to downsize. So your database is really, your window into opportunity. So as good as your database is, as good as your business is. Let's see, how many tags was that? 3, 4, raving fans. So we had a special club, for raving fans. We did events and parties and gifts, and I'm big on like send out cards. So every time we went on a listing appointment, a card and a brownie went, and that card was written no matter if we got the listing or not, so that it could just be part of the system. The admin clicked it. Google Drive, big one, right? How are you going to organize everything, give people access to it? Let's see, what's a couple other systems that we used? I think that's the major ones, really. We always liked to be lean, but lean with a purpose. So, Trello was another one. We didn't use that immediately, but once it kind of came into play, then we adopted Trello because it would allow us to connect with so many things. And then Zapier, would allow us to have other connections. I still use Trello today.
Yeah, we do too. We use Trello for our for a lot of things. for our onboarding, CRMs. I mean, I use
Yeah.
KV Core as well, but
Yes.
for onboarding our new agents and training, and yeah, it's been pretty great for us as well.
Yeah. And we used Boomtown when we started our team, which now KV Core purchased. So it's awesome. We use KV Core
Right.
as well in our organization and stuff.
So you built this massive, machine, and then sold it to and got, well, you were out of production before you sold it, sounds like.
Yes.
And then what? Tell us the rest of your story.
Yeah. So while I was building the team, I was coaching with an agent. His name was Lars Hedenborg. He had a coaching company. And a few months in, he said, man, you're kind of really getting these systems into place and you're really doing this quick. Can you help some of my clients do it? And I was like, sure. Is that a thing? Like, do people not know how to put in systems? Okay, great. This sounds like amazing. And so I started coaching just, a half a day a week. And then it got to 1 day a week, 2 day a week. And ultimately, the reason I sold my team is because I really wanted to coach agents. I wanted to teach them how to build a business. And it was so much more fun being in multiple businesses than just one. So I started coaching full time, became the first COO of that company, the coaching company, and then the CEO. And then, that's been going on for 10 years. So I've been coaching agents for 10 years now.
So you're still doing that now, coaching agents and helping them build systems out. And
yeah. In a couple different capacities. So, paid coaching and then partnership coaching. We help them build their business. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I want to have a shout out to Ben and Cicely, Frank, Ricky, Mona. Anyone have any questions for Stacie? Please just put them in the chat there, and we'll be glad to ask her. Thanks for joining us today. Share some love and send this, tag her and send this out there to your Facebook friends. But thanks for joining us. So still coaching, so that's awesome. And then, how did you find EXP and tell us your journey there? Because I know in a short 2 years, you have over 600 people in your organization, which is amazing. So tell us a little bit of that story.
Yeah. So I was kind of the agent that no one asked about EXP. So I wasn't being bombarded by anybody. And I knew some people that were pretty big at EXP. And so one of my friends joined EXP, and he wanted me to look at his team presentation. He said, can you look at this presentation? I'm going to give it to my team. And I had no idea what it was about. And he gets to the end and it says, we're moving to EXP. And my jaw dropped because he was an independent broker and proud of it. And I thought, what? This is absolutely ridiculous. And so, I just listened, I heard him out, and he's like, here's some videos so you can get some information. Okay. So fast forward a couple weeks, I switch over to EXP2, and so did Lars, who we were coaches together. And my organization grew pretty quickly just from reaching. I really had this, I felt like it was my duty to let them know there are options for their business, because a lot of agents don't understand the financials. They don't understand how much money they could be saving from, what they're paying their brokerage in congruence with what are they actually receiving from that brokerage. So when you're at a brokerage and you're paying money for lead generation and systems, and you're paying for outside coaching because you're not getting it there, and you want access to agents all over the country who are financially aligned with you, there's not many options to do that. So when you start to add that up and then look at the opportunity that EXP has, and you really can lay that out well, I can do numbers really fast in my head, or, with a calculator, what are you paying now? How much are you taking home? What's the broker actually making off of you? And when you can lay it out for people in simple terms, it allows them to open up a little bit. And I feel like they trusted me as well, because I had a vested interest in helping them build their business. Or if we didn't have that kind of relationship, they knew that was the kind of person that I was, just business minded. And so it allowed me to have have conversations with agents. Did a few webinars at first, but a lot of one-on-one reach outs.
Sure.
And yeah, I was lucky enough to partner with some really great agents and grew pretty quickly. My first year, 283 in EXP. My second year, which I'm in right now, we hit 567. And so we're just growing from there. We're a little over 600 now.
Oh, that's awesome. So this person that shared their presentation, he said they were their own independent broker and proud of it. How many agents in his independent company, and what was the top one or two things that really stuck out at him that made him make that change?
Yeah. So he had about 15 agents. And what stood out for him that he couldn't provide was, number one, when you're growing a team, you're pouring everything into those team members. You want them to be great. You want them to have every opportunity possible. But then a lot of times what happens is they leave you. And so you've trained up your competition and you've literally given them the roadmap. And so there was nothing kind of making them sticky. And then secondly, when you get really good agents, they want better splits or they want more opportunities, maybe equity, and you can't provide that as a small business owner. And so he saw with EXP those opportunities. You get equity in the company, the splits are great, there's so many opportunities. And now if you want to leave my specific team and build one, let me help you, and we still can be financially aligned. Right. So it doesn't feel like this bad thing when someone wants to leave your direct team. So he saw those opportunities. He also saw, these companies that can offer all these things, they're starting to pick off agents here and there because a small business cannot offer what a big agent-centric business can offer. And so he saw the writing on the wall, as well as had some agents leave him, and just saw it as a great opportunity, not only for him, which is usually what a team is. It's for the owner of that team. But he saw this great opportunity for his agents to build wealth, to keep more money in their pocket, and get them more opportunities than they would have just on their team.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I had the same situation where, you're training your competition. You get new agents, you're selling nothing. You get them up to 3, 4, 5 a month, take you 3, 4, 5 years to do it. And then the entrepreneurial ones, hey, they're ready to, jump off the nest or however you say it and start their own. You can't blame them because we did the same thing, right?
Right. Yeah. And you have to almost look at it sometimes as well as a compliment to you. But it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah,
It feels yucky for everybody involved. But, they're like, hey, I see what you built. I want to do the same thing. And this just allows you to do that instead of having that icky feeling where, if you see them, you have to everybody's got these unsorted feelings. You don't have to go through that anymore.
Yeah, you actually want them to be able to kick them off the nest and start their own business, their own team, their own branding, and be able to support them and help them. Even surpass you, and that's a really great feeling when you can help someone do that.
Definitely.
So he sent you a couple of videos, and you looked at them for a few weeks. You said you joined in 2 weeks, so that was pretty quick. What were the top one or two things for you personally that had you jump so quickly?
Yeah, I trusted him, so that was a big one. I really trusted him, and I trusted his business sense. And also my sponsor's business sense. So we all kind of jumped on at the same time. Okay. I also saw that as a benefit that we could run together. And so it was like, all right, the three of us can really take off, support each other, because the journey is not like, oh, awesome. It's like, your emotional journey is even up and down. And so I liked that idea of going together. They say like the 5 people that you hang out with are, whatever, you become the 5 people that you hang out with. And those are 2 people that I really admired and had done great things, and we've done great things together. And so I saw it as an opportunity also just to impact more people. When you're coaching people one-on-one, you can only help so many, and your time is attached to each individual call. You might do some group stuff, But this allowed us to reach so many more people and impact so many more agents. And if that's the goal, that you want to help agents build, one of the reasons I started a team was because I wanted their lives to be better with us at a team versus what they would get on their own. And so this was just a way to do it on a bigger scale. So those things really attracted me to the opportunity. Loved the idea of revenue share without having to, have all this risk and liability of a brokerage. I could never broker 600 people. It's just not my personality, but I can offer them all the tools and systems and point them in the right direction and support them and do group calls and do some one-on-one, but also have this big budding organization.
And how do you
like
feel?
you mentioned, create leaders underneath you.
Right. I was going to say, when you were building and had your own team that you were building before you sold it, what are the biggest difference that you see now with being in the EXP organization with the people around you? Did you kind of feel like you're on an island by yourself? I mean, you had your team members, but you were the only one driving it. And with the organization that you've created, and even people outside that organization, how's that helped you now compared to your business before? Because you grew your business to 300 units. And how many agents did you have in your team?
10.
And now you have, hundreds.
600. Yeah.
600.
Yeah.
So how's that play out?
Yeah. It wasn't that my team felt lonely. It was that the leadership piece felt lonely.
Right.
And so when you're at the top, and I really took to heart, it's my job to create opportunities for these guys. They are trusting me. Their families are trusting me. If they're missing something for their kids because they're dealing with a transaction, they're counting on me. And so I took that very seriously. And so that piece at the top is lonely. They didn't make me feel lonely. They were great. Like, I loved the culture. And I realized that I missed some of that when I went to coaching, only because I was coaching agents all around the country. And so everything's via Zoom instead of sort of in person. So now this integrates both pieces of that world. I can, meet with agents locally, feed off their energy, but then also all around the world. We have an agent in Spain. So he's on a group call with us every single Friday, and we're helping him grow his business. And so, you have so much more collaboration on every level. So I get to meet with people like you. You and I are on a meeting every single week with this group of other leaders. Right. And our biggest concern is, how do we grow the agents? How do we help them with production? How do we help them with scaling and, not losing their lives in the process of being a realtor? We're not rocket scientists. Like, how can we get everybody rowing in the same direction? And so now you just have much more support, and there's coaching involved that I don't have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. So it's just it's just such a great collaboration. You don't feel alone as a leader anymore.
Did that surprise you at all? Because I know it surprises a lot of people. With a cloud-based company, that they feel that, they're not going to have the collaboration and the tightness that they had in their independent. But it's just not true. I mean, I guess it's hard to know on the outside looking in, but once you're part of it, it's like amazing. Yeah.
One of my love languages is efficiency. So I love being able to, talk with someone and really pour into them and not have to go, oh my gosh, I've got to drive now 30 minutes to go meet my next person. And then I got to drive back. Or if I want a question answered, I got to drive into the office. No, we want things at the speed of light. This just allows us to do that, but it doesn't take away the connection. Right. And honestly, if you drive by any brokerage right now, I guarantee the top producers aren't sitting in there going, I wonder what everybody's doing. No, that's the staff, and there might be some agents, but we don't take that away from people. We have co-working spaces that you can occupy. I'm in an office right now. I actually have an office with some other agents, EXP agents. I also have a home office. I can work out of both,
Right.
but we don't take away that ability of connection. We just make it more efficient.
That's awesome. What would you do differently, knowing what you know now? Is there anything that you would do differently as far as joining EXP?
Well, I'm not going to give the answer that everyone probably does that says, I wish I would have joined sooner, because of course, but I would have more conversations. I would get out of my own way, get out of my own head. Like, why would they listen to me? What do I have to offer? When I make it about me, then it's about me, and it's not. It's about them. And so if I can just pique their interest and see if it's something that could possibly align with their current business, great. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. This isn't like beat them over the head until they come. Like, I'm not that person. So I wish I would have got out of my own way even quicker, and continually being consistent with reaching out with agents. You kind of get busy, just like prospecting. It's just like you're already having conversations in real estate anyway with buyers and sellers, or, hey, how's work going? Or you're talking with agents anyway. So it's the same conversation. It's just consistency ends up, creating more impact. So I wish I would do that. I wish I would have done that more. And I wish I still would be more consistent than I am.
Yeah, consistency is key no matter what it is that you're doing. If it's, if you're prospecting for sale by owners or expireds or cold calling or knocking doors or, calling your database, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're consistent and time block and just do it day in, day out, continuously. That's what in any business, in my opinion, is what really helps people get to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. Consistency wins every time.
Any last things that you want to mention before we wrap up on how to create a saleable team like you have, or your experience with EXP? Anything you want to close with?
Yeah, I think one thing is, no matter what you're building, if you're building a team, maybe you're in EXP and you're building a passive income, maybe you're just an agent trying to get started, I would say don't make your feelings facts. So the journey is always going to be up and down. It's never going to feel, if you have this like pit in your stomach, and then you think, I need to do something else. This must be wrong. I shouldn't feel this way. Look at her. Look at Andre. They seem happy. What a great story. Well, there's also, years of tears and years of self-doubt and years of winning. But, the journey is up and down, and it's not straight. And if you can just keep in your own lane and not compare yourself to others and enjoy the journey, make the destination the journey, not some archaic date that you set for yourself. Like, if I don't do this in 2 years, I've failed. Make it about the journey. You'll enjoy it so much more, and you'll build something great, whatever it is that you want to build.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thanks for sharing that, Stacie. Just a couple of real quick questions. What does your future look like? Do you have any 2 or 5 year goals? Where do you see yourself in a few years?
Yeah, my goal is just to impact agents. And so my next goal that I'm looking to hit are 1,200 agents. And I'm trying to do the same, not put a date on it, but it is in my 5-year plan. I'm hoping to get there in 3. But that's really my goal, and to ultimately continue to show up and coach agents and, help people with the journey.
And if anyone's, in your location, or of course, if it's EXP, we're in all 50 states, 25 countries now. Is that the best way someone can reach out to you? Is your phone number that's on the screen there?
Yeah, definitely. You can call me. I'm on social, or you can email me, and my email is just Stacie@StaciePeterson.com. Pretty easy.
Pretty easy. All right. Fantastic. I always ask everyone at the very end, if you're a book reader or a movie watcher, what's your best book of all time that you'd like to recommend, or movie you'd like to recommend?
Oh my gosh, I am a reader, but I'm going to give the one that I'm going through right now. So I've watched, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Washington Post. It was like from 2018 or something.
Okay.
And yeah, it's nothing new. Well, anyway, Catherine is the main character in there, and it shows her strength as a woman in the times during the Nixon presidency when the United States was covering up the Vietnam Wars. They did a study on it.
Okay.
So I'm actually reading her memoir because this woman was overlooked constantly. She was always underestimated. It was the times. It was the time, that she was living. And she ultimately got thrown into being the owner of the Washington Post and had to make some very scary decisions. And so when you watch the movie and really look at what she had to risk and what she had to do and ultimately believe in herself, I love it. And her memoir is just the same. She's a great writer. She talks about where she comes from and just her lessons along the way. And there's just so much to learn from people that, I think a hard decision is, who should I call today? And, or like, I hope I, do a great job on a coaching call. And her decisions are, do we print the US secrets and go to potentially prison for it? So it's just interesting. It's a great book, a great movie. I think you'd love it.
That's awesome. We'll have to add that to the list.
Yeah, probably one that wasn't on there.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Stacie. Really enjoyed getting to know your story better. Looking forward to meeting you at one of the next live events. I'm sure we'll see each other soon on our Thursday influencer call for sure. And thanks for joining us at the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. And we'll see everyone next week.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stacie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Listen to what our business partners are saying about our FFF group.
What I love most about our group, the alignment, the fact that I am aligned with some of the top producers in the world and can pick their brain any second of the day has been absolutely incredible for my business and has taken it to the next level. And I have to account it to alignment.
My favorite thing about the FFF group is just being surrounded by people with the same mentality as us that are striving for something better and building a better long-term plan for themselves.
My favorite part is the support. I can't tell you how many top producers have just kind of dropped what they're doing and supported us in a big way when we've had any kind of curveballs or compliance issues or any kind of new experience. Everyone within our group is just willing to give, and that's probably the best part about our Financial Freedom Group.
I believe if you surround yourself with like-minded people that are doing 10, 15, 20 times more than me and you put together, we all bring each other up and bring our businesses to the next level and our life. To learn more about how to partner with us, go to partnerwithandre.com or click the link below and let's have a conversation.